Good morning. Welcome to Lagos Talks 91.3. It is time for your financial literacy program. It's time for Everyday Money Matters, EMM. And I just have to say this, get this out of the way. Remember, EMM is a financial literacy program, and as such, answers to questions should not be considered as financial advice, but merely the opinions of our guests. Kindly consult your financial advisor for your personal, business, financial-related issues. But if you want to learn how to raise money, grow money, keep money, have questions about where to invest, what to invest, how to invest, hey, this is the show. It's Everyday Money Matters. It's all about financial literacy. And if you have questions, you could call in live 0809 191 3913 and 0809 222 0913. Also 0809 234 5913. And we're also on social media at Lagos Talks 913. Don't forget to at Nairametrics and at Lagos Talks. But also, we do have our webinar, which is going on right now. If you want to be a part of this program virtually, all you have to do is click on a link and you will be transported right here, right now, into the studio to be a part of the show. You can see what's happening live, or you can ask those anonymous questions. You know, maybe you have like 20 million. You don't want me to know, or Ugodre. You could ask Loretta directly or any of our panelists. All right. Welcome to Everyday Money Matters. We have the money team in the building. Ugodre, Obichuku in transit, and Loretta in the morning. How you doing, people?
Hey, man, what's up?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Morning.
Forgot about that. Yes, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody?
How you doing?
Very, very well. Very nice. Looking forward to the end of the year, technically.
All right, that's good.
Because we can't be too sure what the year is going to bring. So let's just, cross our fingers and hope.
How bad can it get? How bad can it get?
I've learned not to say those kind of things anymore, especially in 2020. Don't tempt it. Don't tempt it. Many things can still happen. So
I agree.
But right.
It's like every day is one big news, right?
I'm telling you, something amazing, something different, something strange. But hopefully it wouldn't be like that with regards to our finances. We heard some good things about, I say that loosely, good things about interest rates, banks, and, everyday people. What's happening with that?
Good things.
Yeah, the CBN has said, well, that's why I said technically, loosely. there's a something to do with interest rates, right? From what I gathered. That the minimum interest that a bank customer can get has been set. And I know on one hand, you might think good news, but on the other hand, when you do the calculation, you might think, what is this? So tell me about it.
You got it all wrong, man.
Oh, I did?
Yeah, so what the CBN said is that going forward, the minimum banks can pay customers, right, for interest is 1.25%.
Okay.
Not even the minimum. I think that's even like a ceiling. So
it's the ceiling.
Interest rate. Yeah, sorry, the minimum rather. So okay. It's 10% of MPR, which is 12.5%. So if you put your money in the bank, right, then for putting your money in the bank, they will pay you 1.25%. Now they can pay you more than that, but I mean, how many banks are going to pay you more than 1.25% for that your 50,000 that you have in your account, sir? Because I know it's 50K you have in your account.
It's actually less. It's less. I have to buy a recharge card this morning.
So that's basically what it is. So it's actually good news for banks, not really customers. So yeah,
it's more
like good news for banks. No, but it can be good news for customers if the CBN also tells banks that they've got to be able to. I don't like to say this, but also tell them that don't lend above a certain amount, a certain interest rate. Right, yeah, because otherwise, like I'm putting my money and getting 1.25%, and then you're lending it at 20%, or 18% or something. Even though it doesn't really work like that though, because these are savings deposit. They are not fixed deposit, and savings deposit, I can always withdraw them anytime I like. Basically. So that's that news, and then the second news as well is on forex. So there's been a lot happening on that beat. So the CBN came up with some policies last week, and one of these policies is that you'd have to BDCs can now sell dollars.
Again. Okay.
CBN is going to be selling dollars to them, so you can buy from BDCs. Selling dollars to them, selling $10K to them. I think they gave them some dollars yesterday, and then they're going to be selling to you at 386. I think.
Okay,
386. So
that's going to be the standard rates now.
Yeah, for people traveling, and then it's very easy. You can just with your passport go and buy.
So
what has now happened is that because of that, the black market rate has sort of like strengthened. Yeah, strengthened. You got to be careful the way you use the word crash, because crash can be like the other way. So it's like strengthened.
Naira has strengthened, the dollar is crashed. Because I talked about the week, it was going from, I think it reached a height of 400, and then it started going down and down and down.
So it's gone from 477 to 440 something. And that's basically the trajectory so far. And black market, but the official market has remained pretty much 380 something and all that same thing.
That's fair. Right, so that's at least some small good news. Small. We hope it continues to strengthen, so that by December, good things can happen. Right, let's go on to the questions quickly. This one says, interesting. It says, how will the recently reviewed interest on savings deposit by the CBN affect me and my money in the bank? We kind of just talked about that, right?
Yeah, Loretta.
Okay, so before now, savings, you could get as much as maybe 3%, 2% annually, maybe 4%, depending on what year we're talking about. Okay. And that means if you put your money in the bank and you do not touch it for 1 year, it's a fixed income investment. And so it's supposed to yield a certain percent. So now, if before we had been complaining that the interest rate is 4%, whereas inflation rate is at 12.25, or I don't know. Inflation rate should be at 14 now, actually.
12.8%.
Let me know.
Okay,
so right now at 1.25, it's almost like an article on our metrics. The author wrote, it's almost as if you are paying the bank to save your money. So it's just less, it's just
it's not the best.
It's not the best, exactly.
So, right, I hope that explains everything. So it's not something we should be celebrating. It's something we should be questioning. All right, let's move on to another question. It says, hello, Ugodre and Loretta. What are the best ventures for an elderly business person to invest in? Ugodre, we're talking about elderly. You should know. So what?
Yeah, right. Venture. I like that word. Venture.
Yes.
The best venture. I think for an elderly, you don't want a business that is going to it's too stressful for you. I think you need a sedentary kind of business.
Oh, okay.
Which means you're basically in one place, don't like moving too much around.
Okay.
You could also do, moving around business. Well, so let's put it into two buckets, right? Mm-hmm. So one, businesses like if you have enough capital to deploy and maybe a supermarket in your estate can work for you. If you have capital for a pharmacy, you can get something like that. Something like a store that
doesn't take too much figures, right?
Yeah, you see a lot of people every day. Money's coming in every day and going out. Okay. So you're busy, right? So you can always get up and go there, and you're basically in control of your entire of your office. But you got to be careful with how you get your orders, your inventory, and things like that. So there's a risk if the shop is too big. Though there's money to be made when it's too big, but you got to be careful. So try to get that. Another thing you can do for an elderly, if you're skilled, right, professionally skilled, that is, you can go into consulting, right? So consulting really works. Yeah, like my mom, for example, She's in her late 70s, and she just retired a few years ago. In fact, she still works sometimes because she's an accountant, and she's a tax consultant. So she's been doing that for over 20 years since she retired. Right. So yeah, and dozen people come to her and I need professional help with my taxes. Okay. And then she helps help you with your accounts, and then help you with your taxes, and then help you process it. So you can do stuff like that at an old age, and you're pretty sure that you get some income in. So it's gonna be between a consulting job that is not so tasking, and then owning like a supermarket and things like that. So that's venture, because that's what the guy said. The question is venture, isn't it?
Yes. Ventures. It's old people's speak.
All right.
Things that it's an interesting question here on the platform. Our Zoom platform says, and it's from Ugodre. He says, good morning, money people. I lost half of my profits with the drop in the black market price. The profit was supposed to pay my rent. Question, what does the nearest future hold for the black market race? And can CBN sustain the Forex sales intervention? Sorry about the loss. Okay, this happened. Right, so Ugodre.
Is that my question?
Whose question? It says
Loretta, looks like Loretta wants me to take this question.
Yeah.
All right, so brilliant question. I've got a lot of people call me recently to ask as well.
Yeah.
But before we get to whether it's sustainable, I think that you should have sold your dollar since. Why did you wait? Sell and pocket your profit. Always do that if you're on the short term. Right? Wow, you want to pay rent. You should have sold. You're waiting for 500, but I mean, it happens.
Yeah,
that's
right. Yeah, exactly. That's what the market is like.
Stuff happens. So, but here's the thing, right? The Naira would always lose against the dollar long term. So that's for sure. It's just a matter of time. So either way, you're still good. It's just that you've lost an opportunity to pocket some profits. So the lesson now is that if you're on a short-term string, always pocket your profits, right? Yes, and then re-enter, pocket re-enter like that. You gotta always do that.
Okay.
I got a friend yesterday who was telling me that so his wife had like $15,000 and she wanted to just offload, and she's had it for like 3-4 years. And
wow.
And he told her, no, don't sell all. Why don't you just sell 10?
Yeah.
And she's like, she wants to sell 10, and eventually she ends up offloading 10 at 460 or something over the weekend.
Yeah.
And then so now she's upset with the husband. I'm sure the guy is probably listening to the show. I'm like, I should have sold my 5. You see?
Yeah. Hey,
I should have sold my 5. No, I can't sell it because they've been calling the guy, and the guy will say, I'm coming. I never shows up. Because nobody wants to take a hit anymore. So exactly. But I mean, long term, dollar would always strengthen against Naira. I mean, because it's a reserve currency. So long as dollar is the reserve currency of the world, it's always going to be strong. Yeah,
there'll be stability.
Yeah. But in terms of sustainability, well, that depends on demand and supply, right? Okay. So there's a lot the CBN is doing to manage demand, which might seem a bit unfair. To businesses. Yeah, so they're cutting your limits, they're doing all that just to sort of curtail demand. Then you also got to look at the economy in the whole. Do people really have propensity to spend dollars like that? Like, how many people right now with the way the world is going? So so you got to look at the demand side and say, yes, maybe there's not enough supply, but demand as well might not be that much. So by and large, what I always say in the argument, I'm on the side of the argument because it's not my thinking is not necessarily the right one. It might necessarily be that I'm correct. It's all projection, but I'm on the side of that. The value of the exchange rate is somewhere between 400, 420, something like that. That's what I kind of think.
Okay.
Right. Within that range, yeah. So. And I think it's gonna be within that range for a while. Yeah, but I don't. Some people believe it's gonna go above 500, but I kind of doubt it. Yeah, because
of the intervention, what has happened.
Yeah, the intervention, and I don't really see where that demand is going to come from, to be honest. And then there's something the CBN did recently that is also very, very telling. They have now sort of, blocked out third-party LCs. So if you want to buy something abroad, so it's Sadiq might want to buy something abroad and say, and opens an LC for Sadiq Nigeria, and then but the LC is, or the other party on the LC is Sadiq UK, right? Yeah. And then now ask for $100,000, and then they give Sadiq Nigeria. They now pay Sadiq UK the $100,000. The bank pays $100,000 to LC, so you buy out official rate. But the cost of what you're actually buying is just $50,000.
Oh.
Right. So Sadiq UK now gives Sadiq Nigeria $50,000.
Wow.
And then Sadiq Nigeria now comes back and flips it.
Okay.
Right. Whereas
what was going on.
Yeah, so a lot of those kind of underhand deals happen, and I think the CBN has kind of taken that out. It was a little controversial, to be honest, because it's almost like throwing the baby on the bathwater, right? But that's like sort of like the situation. So that's why I said sustainability might not be able to sustain it for too long, but neither do I think that the rate is where it is today. Yeah, it's not 470. That's my thinking, though. I might be wrong, but that's what I think.
Hey, you're
so Loretta, I'm taking your question.
Right, one more here on the platform. It says, and this is from, an anonymous person, says, is it still worth it keeping my money in the banks, or rather should I put it in Bitcoin or other currencies? So what because it seems like Bitcoin is really making like a comeback, especially in Africa. We're seeing it more mainstream, seeing adverts. What's going on?
Well, I think that's not the best way to compare both, because putting your money in the bank means you are going for a low risk investment, in which case your capital is secured, and Bitcoin the other end of high risk, high reward. So it depends on what your objective is. If your objective is to make a lot of money from your investment, then putting your money in the bank, ordinarily putting your money in the bank would not have given you what you wanted,
Especially now.
Especially now, yeah. So if you're looking for high risk, there's a series of investments you can put your money in. Series of securities you can put your money in, including Bitcoin. Yeah, but you can't compare. So compare likes with likes. That's what I'm driving at.
Okay. So you can't just. So one is at the polar opposite scale. It's really safe and then really risky. So it depends on your appetite, pretty much.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Right, we have to go on a short break. We will be right back, and we will continue to answer those questions. Keep them coming in. Remember, the 0809-191-3913, or you can join us live via our Zoom platform. The webinar is going on. The link is on our social media feed at Lagos Talks 913, and of course at Nairametrics as well. We'll go on a very short break, and Everyday Money Matters. We'll be right back. That's right. Welcome back to Everyday Money Matters, your financial literacy program. Of course, I'm here. Ugodre is in the building. Loretta's here as well. And we're going to be answering your questions. Lots of them on our platform this morning. Maybe we should go there. Right. Which one do I go for? This is from Tomiwa. And Tomiwa is saying, hi, am I the only one who thinks ETFs are overrated? Yes, they are cheap. Yes, they're cheap to purchase. Yes, you pay one free multiple companies in the index, but the dividends are poor compared to if I shared the money across all the individual stocks in that index. Granted, the fees after purchasing individual stocks will be high, but these dividends will be much better. So why are ETFs promoted and praised so much? Beautiful question.
That is a brilliant question. Who asked that question?
It's Tomiwa.
Well, that's a brilliant question. I actually never thought of it like that. Interesting. We do a lot of research and analysis in Nairametrics, but we haven't actually looked at this angle. I'll look at it. And if what you said is true, then you're right. Why would you want to hold ETFs when the individual stocks on it, pay you better? So the way ETFs work is basically, let's assume there are 5 shares of different companies. So Access Bank, let's use the Fugas banks now. First Bank, UBA, GTB, Access, Zenith Bank, right? So and you had 1 million naira to invest to 200,000 each of them. So you can buy 200,000 of those shares, or you go and buy an ETF that manages those same shares, those same 5 shares. So you use the 1 million and buy that ETF. Okay, that's basically what ETFs
So it's just like a combination.
Right. So what he's saying is that when the ETF pay you dividend, it is less than the dividend you get if you had bought the shares individually, and then they are paid you dividend. So that's his point, and it's quite interesting because ETFs shouldn't actually work like that. You should get
that's the whole idea.
Similar kind of value, of an ETF.
Get the value.
But the interesting thing is that ETFs in Nigeria, I think there are 1 or 2 ETFs in Nigeria that has actually been one of the best performing ETFs. In I think it's the Vertiva one or something. It's one of the best ETFs in the country in fact, the best stock in the country in terms of return.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of the best in terms of return. Yeah. So, but the return is capital appreciation, not necessarily dividend payment and things like that. Yeah. But he makes a good point, though. He makes a very good point. Yeah.
Nice, very nice. One more quickly before we have to run. This question says, is it possible for a company to be listed in 2 exchanges, and what are the benefits of that, if any?
Okay, yes, it is possible. It's possible to be listed on more than 2 exchanges if you want. So, for example, if you're a multinational, you have your main country, maybe Nigeria, you have another one in South Africa. If you want to be on the NSE and also be on the stock exchange in South Africa, you can do that. However, that also means that whatever charges, whatever rules come with it, you abide by it. So it could be much more costly. As for benefits, I think the major benefit is that you're now listed on 2 platforms, so you have higher access to liquidity. So people will invest in your shares from the Nigerian stock market. They will also invest from another country. So higher access to liquidity is the major benefit.
But you have to be careful with the charges.
Yeah, that's it though. She just hit the nail. It's just liquidity. Today, MTN is listed in South Africa and in Nigeria, and even though MTN is listed, MTN might not be the best example to use here, but you have Airtel, for example. Airtel is listed in Nigeria and I think in the UK as well. You have Seplat listed in Nigeria and in the UK. So the reason why you have dual listings, you can even have more than that, is because the shareholders, the reason why you have a stock market in the first place is so that people who own shares can sell them. Right, exactly. So whether it's listed in Japan or Germany or UK, the point is that those shares can be sold in any of those markets. That's basically what it means. And it's liquidity so that people who own those shares can sell, and then the companies themselves can raise capital. Right.
Right. Thank you.
That's what it means.
We've run out of time. Thank you so much, Money Team. Truly.
Is it a sports, guys? Can you tell them that I've been winning trophies?
Whatever.
I've been winning trophies.
Because of 2 trophies now, we won't hear what.
We even beat your team.
Please,
beat your team.
Sorry, the connection is crackling. I can't really hear you. So, Ugodre, final words for the people of us before we sign out. Oh no, did we lose Ugodre there? Oh man, at the pivotal moments. How sad. Connections. Loretta, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
So this Saturday we're gonna be having our Nairametrics Economic Outlook. You don't want to miss it. We're basically looking at next quarter and the quarter after. Let's see, we're going to make, whether Nigeria is going to grow or whether we're going to get into a recession. You don't want to miss it. Go to any of Nairametrics handles and get the link and register right now. We are already getting a lot of participants in, and there's just a limit. We can't take everybody. So quickly register, first come, first serve. Right. And tell Charles, we are the best team in the world right now.
It's crackling. There's a funny thing with the connection. Yes, so Ugodre, bye.
All right, see you. Bye.
Yes, Loretta, cheers, Ugodre. Fantastic. Thank you so much for listening to Everyday Money Matters. Don't forget, we're doing this again next week, answering your questions. It's a financial literacy program, all right? And we also have our link. So if you want to be part of this show live, virtually, just go onto our page at Lagos Talks 913 or Nairametrics page. Click on the link, boom, and you're right here. Thank you so much for listening. And of